Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? Welcome back to the Cousin Cecil Show. I'm your host, Mike Fowler, aka Cousin Cecil. We're coming at you live on a start of the snow of Michigan day, where we're going to be talking about just a little bit of rumors. It's getting that seasonal time of the news, little lows and shit. But we're going to be just looking into those possible Capcom rumors. I've been a busy week for my what I've been playing. I got 4 platinums this week. And just some news through the grapevine. And we're going to check it out on this other side of the Cousin Cecil Show. And okay. Again, how you guys doing? How's your week? I hope you guys were doing well. I hope you guys had a excellent first week of next-gen consoles. But yeah, we're going to get into it like we always do, what I've been playing. And then more touching base to say I finished Astrobot's Playroom, platinumed it, and also I think it's kind of cool for the influencers and shit. They had to wait for a little bit of a little add-on of more trophies, more just for spoilers. If you've been watching YouTube videos of Astro's Playroom, it clearly shows that they were going to go through the whole generations of PlayStation. Each level's a console, and they had add-on trophies for PS5 console stuff, which is great to see. I love it. What was it? Another thing. And then I got to platinum Miles Morales, Spider-Man. And that is by far, it's great. I'm also going to just more pull it out there. It is clearly just DLC. I ain't going to lie. But it's one of those ones that it's like Lost Legacy for Uncharted, which I've never played, which I still have on my back burner. But the idea of, it wasn't short. It didn't stay too long for its welcome. Even with the only thing that was this kind of is a drag, is the idea that you have to play it twice with New Game Plus for the platinum. But it's probably an 8 to 10 hour game, and that's 10 hours if you wanted just to sulk and enjoy maybe a crime here or there and stuff, but 100% quote unquote of regular game, no, not New Game Plus style. It was it's really well. And then also, while we're here, apparently some breaking news, you can now port your original 2018 Spider-Man save over to the remaster. And people are saying you can pop the Platinum Trophy with just switching your saves over, which is awesome. So then also that's good for me because I was willing to do it, but I wanted to get I wanted to do one playthrough. And now since I can I can just pop the platinum, I can play it again on New Game Plus, get those trophies, plus enjoy the DLC without having to do the really big, long drag of it. And then the last 2 platinums was Bug Snacks. And I would say Bug Snacks is an excellent game. It is, I'm going to talk about it later, but I was on a podcast with PSVG's PlayStation Experience. Thank you guys again, guys and gals, to let me in. And I can't remember offhand now I'm thinking about, but Delvin, his son, was on the show, and he had a pretty great analogy for Bug Snacks, where he didn't just go the simple, it's like Viva Pinata, but I can't remember off the top of my head what he says. You'll hear it on Wednesday whenever their show drops. But he did pretty spot on, besides he didn't finish it. And that story goes a very weird left field and kind of that new Fantasy Island, Dr. Moreau idea of that's a little fucked up what Bug Snacks actually are. But yeah, and then also move your seat on the throne. My Name is Mayo 2 came out, and I platinumed that. And that took maybe 45 minutes of clicking 10,000 times and making sure you're on the right new picture of the mayo jar so that you're not wasting time. But like 30, 40, 45 minutes it took me. But yeah, it's been a great week for to learn more about the PS5. And there are some things which I was trying to explain on Wednesday on the other podcast that you'll hear. Well, probably more because I had more time to think about it. I don't have buyer's remorse. And this is my first time ever having a new console on literally launch day. I usually get my new consoles around tax time, and not saying this always happens, but by the time of February rolls around, we're probably going to get another decent patch. Apparently, we've already had a patch, but to me, it's just another one of those support maintenance shit. But I'm more shocked that we don't have our video store on the PlayStation 5. You can download the app so you can watch your previously purchased PlayStation videos. So if you already bought movies off the store, you still can claim them. But you can't buy new movies yet right now, which is very odd. I hope we're 1 week in. Congratulations Europe. We got you guys have the launch happen and you guys are a part of the family again. Welcome. It's been great. Hopefully you guys all enjoy it. But yeah, I'm kind of shocked. I'll leave it at that. But gameplay wise, it's been great. I love the new UI. I love the snappiness. It's a good point. I like that the PS5 feels new. Delvin brought up because he has both consoles on this PSVG. He got to see the experience of both sides, and he said the Xbox feels good, but it doesn't feel as new as the PlayStation 5 because they chose to have their UI the same as the Xbox One, which is, that's how they want to sell it, bing, bang, boom. But yeah, more looking into the grapevine I've also been playing The Pathless, which is that indie game from Giant Squid, the guys who made Abzu, and then that studio came out of the ashes of that game company that made Journey. And wow, I hope nobody sleeps on The Pathless. The Pathless is probably I'll explain it more on my Game of the Year episode that I'm setting up, which spoilers is going to be around Christmas, because I'm going to try real hard to push these episodes out in appointment wise and get them done and finalized. Because I'm probably going to take that Christmas and New Year's Eve break like a lot of podcasters do, except I'm going to have content for you guys. But yeah, that game is, I love it. And it's probably, spoilers, it might be my indie game of the year. And then I'll explain it there, but I'm not going to count these next-gen console games as Game of the Year contenders. Sometimes I'll explain it on that day, but this Pathless, though, it's probably the best $40 I spent recently for a game. I would say everyone should play it. The best part is, when I first started it, I was like, man, this is kind of too open for me, but now I understand it. It's not that big. In a good way. It is these very big, vast forests you're cruising around in different plateaus, but it's a vibe. I love the music. It's a very a tribal, more Native American tribal, drums and all that stuff. And it is probably has the same impact to me like Journey, except you get to use a bow, not really fighting, it's for traversal, but except there are some pretty, very forgiving boss fights because of the story, but it's still it's a good experience. You're not there to be I'm going to be the best there is on this game. It's about you're there for the experience of a game that has a lot of text and story pickups and reading in tablets and shit. There's no real audio besides them talking in a different native tongue. But I would recommend everybody to try out the Pathless. And I'm going to at least be fair. It's also on mobile. It's on the Apple Arcade if you wanted to save some money. But I would recommend the PS5 one looks gorgeous. But yeah, I also downloaded just to see, but I'm We need more space. I need more hard drive space. I got the PS5 upgraded version of Mortal Kombat 11, which also comes with all my DLC I have, and I'm getting a little pretty full up here on the hard drive. I need those M2 SSDs to be approved and say which ones we can buy. Jimmy, come on. But okay. Let's get into the news of how this week was going. Like I said, it's going to be a little smaller, but also I think we got a little more juicier stories to talk about, so it might be short and sweet, but in a good way. Apparently, Capcom had like a major leak of information, and I'm not even sure because I'm looking at the article right now. Maybe not about not personal information, but their plans on some big game rumors. And looking at the list, like they have rumored leaks that might be coming from Q4 fiscal year 21 all the way to Q4 fiscal year 2024. So this is like, okay, we're going to just go right off the top. But the idea, like this list is like 3 years to 4 years in the making of, Capcom plans. So I hope they don't try to be the tough guys and maybe not make any of these because of, just how the world works and how they just want to be stubborn. But right off the top, the closest thing is from Q4 fiscal year 21 is they were playing on this game called Resident Evil Outbreak. Not sure what that is. I don't know if that's but take this all with a grain of salt. One though I do know is they were planning on a Dragon's Dogma 2, which I believe that was kind of more like a game that was never announced but everyone knew about, especially since they have that Netflix show in the right now on and all that stuff. But yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2 is projected off this leak of Q2 financial year 2022. Street Fighter 6 in Q3 of that year. A new Mega Man, same time frame as that Street Fighter 6. Resident Evil 4 remakes in the books of being made. Monster Hunter 6. Biohazard Apocalypse. So is that going to be Resident Evil 9? I'm trying to figure out in that those words if you can set up even a 9 with that, but no, you can't, even in Roman numeral. But that's expected for financial year 2023. It says SSF6, so I'm assuming Super Street Fighter 6, their next, how they do the arcade edition, is planning on within the a year after Street Fighter 6 is out, quote unquote. A Final Fight remake. Okay, that'd be kind of cool. A Power Stone remake. Both of these are set up for financial year 2024. Then Ultra Street Fighter 6. And then they have the final little leak is Resident Evil Hunk. But it's under the codename Hank. But IGN corrected it and said it might likely be Hunk. And that's the final game of this leak from Q4 financial year 2024. Sources confirmed to IGN that some of these games include lists are legitimate, especially the Dragon's Dogma 2, like I said, Street Fighter 6, which is, these are it's duh, that's definitely going to happen. But could be potentially out of the date, the proper date. So we're not sure exactly if these are going to be the exact days that we're talking about. Many other games revealed in this leak are listed under code names, but right now apparently Capcom is kind of furious and they have been working with law enforcement in Japan and the United States trying to gauge on the overall damage this has done. And I think IGN brought up this idea that they've had, however, former Capcom employees have expressed frustrations with Capcom. So this might be something that came from the inside, outside in, all that shit from people who used to work for Capcom. Always into the weeds of that, but honestly, I don't know if I would not. I'd probably take this as an embrace. You know what? Hey, yep, you're right. You caught us. Here's our next 4 years in advance. Not in a bad way, but how they did, I think it was the Capcom 5. You knew that these games were set in duh, they've been milking the Resident Evil franchise, so it wasn't surprising seeing 3 to 4. I can't remember. Yeah, 4 4 Resident Evil games within the next 4 years that might possibly come. You know, it's hot, and it's actually fun. If the games are good, they're good. But yeah, that's one little small little tidbit about this week. And I'm going to steal this one, but because I don't really care about this shit. But apparently there's been a little scuttlebutt of like Rocket League. Rocket League is a backwards compatible game with both consoles, except what is it? But apparently the Xbox Series X version can be easily patched to run at 120 frames per second. And the PS5 one would involve having to make a brand new, I don't want to call it remastered, but a whole different game to set it out. I mean, honestly, as a person, like I said, I'm just getting into this conversion of performance and seeing the difference from an OG PS4. I get it. There are a handful of games that already can be run on 120 frames per second on PS5. Destiny 2 is one in particular that's going to come out that's on both systems that they have no problem doing Crucible at 120 frames. One drawback, look at that. Call of Duty has been in bed with PlayStation almost this whole generation, but apparently Call of Duty Warzone, the free-to-play Battle Royale, can run 120 frames on Xbox, but not on PS5. Honestly, this debate on trying to find... I think it's, honestly, this is why I don't really like to talk about it like this, but I think it's a little bit of, it's news, but also I think it's Xbox fanboy news in the sense of they're just trying to get a W right now because of, it's a little dry over there. I mean, they have, of course, all these new third parties to play, but at the same time, like, they don't have any first party content to, like, indulge onto more than old games. And I take that with a grain of salt how you said it. But the idea, hopefully you guys understand I'm on this side. I'm not trying to like bash it. But the idea of we are discussing a feat of a thing that involves everybody having to have a HDMI 2.1 TV in the first place. And right now that goes into almost like those, the people that have been asking for PlayStation to make the patch for computer monitors to run 1440 on the PS5. It might be a small niche right now. Not saying it's going to be in the future, but by the time maybe, I don't think they're going to do that, but it sounds dumb, but like Rocket League 2 might be a thing. And then by that time, maybe 2.1 is a more household thing. So it might take a little draw, which obviously look at that. Digital Foundry has been dragging Xbox through the fucking mud all week with showing that multiplats have been running better on PS5. Maybe this is just, like I said, just trying to get a W on the Xbox side of why you bought the system. But teach his own. I'll give you that. I mean, it's cool you guys have the option, but also at the same time, not that many people have the 2.1 TV right now. But yeah. And also this week, the Game Awards nominations came out, and here they are. We're not going to go through all of them. I'll break it down like this. I'll tell you all the Game of the Year nominations, and then maybe also, like, once we get into, like, best audio design, I ain't going to fucking tell you all of them. I'll tell you what I picked for my little fake voting bracket of, going on the website. But just more to brought out before we start, kudos on PlayStation. They had 22 nominations, which is the highest of them all. But Nintendo was behind them with a lot, I think maybe 18. And I'm not saying like that because I feel for them, but Xbox didn't have maybe, I think they had maybe 4 nominations, but none of them in Game of the Year. But all right, the Game of the Year nominations are, they have Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing New Horizon, and The Last of Us Part 2. And my vote for Game of the Year for the Game Awards, because these could be different from my podcast down later this month, or next month. I picked Last of Us 2. You can't deny how good it was. I think it was great, but yeah. Best game direction. I'll more describe what it says. Rewards for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and game and design. And out of this small list, I picked, which was Last of Us 2, Half-Life Alyx, Hades, Ghost of Tsushima, and Final Fantasy VII. I picked Hades for game direction because I've never played it. I know it's on the Switch, but I've heard nothing more than besides for a roguelike, it is being innovative on the roguelike genre. So I'm like, kudos to them. So I'm going to give them the nod for it. Best narrative, kind of more explains itself, for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. This is more of a coin flip of what you guys feel, but I picked The Last of Us 2 for that. And then the next thing was best art direction, obviously for outstanding creative and technical achievements in the artistic design and animation. And out of those little handful of games, I gave Xbox a bone. I chose Ori and the Will of the Wisp. I think you got to put credit where credit's due. It looks beautiful. And I think also, I know it sounds dumb how I explain it, but like, give props for the idea that they have that game running at 6K at 120 frames too, and it still looks beautiful. Best score and music, I picked Doom Eternal because I just feel out of the group. Of course, I never listened to so I'm not, dragging through this whole thing. I have never heard Ori Will the Wisp soundtrack, but I bet money it has a beautiful orchestra judging by the E3. And I don't think Hades counts, but Final Fantasy VII, that's not fair because I think that's a little bit of nostalgia. And Last of Us Part 2, there are big parts of the story that involves music, but I don't think that's fair. I think Doom Eternal, with the idea of this cut, that I love Doom Eternal's guitar riffs and stuff. Best audio design. Recognize the best in-game audio and sound design. And then take it with a grain of salt, but I picked Ghost of Tsushima just because I like sounds dumb, the flute, maybe even like how the wind and the birds and everything talk and everything. Best performance. Rewarded to individuals for voiceovers, acting, motion, or performance capture. And just more to say, so it's all out there. Man, that's close. But I picked I gave her a bone because I think I picked Laura Bailey as Abby for Last of Us Part 2. I think it's harder to be a new character who had obviously everyone against her. Still, people don't like her. Still, people have done death threats to her because of this stupid character. But I think you got to put credit where credit's due. It made me, for how she acted or even how the game was directed and narrated to, I like Abby. So I gave her the vote. Games for impact. For a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. And then out of these group, which I'll just say them because I think it's important if these are games that are quote-unquote for impact. Maybe you guys want to go play them. These are the nominations. Through the Darkness of Time. Tell Me Why. Spiritfarer. Kentucky Road Zero TV Edition. And If Found. ... I picked Spiritfarer because of I've seen gameplay. I wish I had the opportunity, like Xbox fans who had it on Game Pass, to play it out. But $30 is $30. I know I just spoke about buying a $40 indie game, but just timing and all that stuff. But I gave the vote to Spiritfarer. Best ongoing, which is of course about I'll give you the nominations. Apex Legend, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. I gave it to Apex Legend only because Destiny 2 has won it before, and also they lost me this year. That's on them. That's not anything about listeners right now, but they just lost me. Best indie game, and I always love indie, so I'll say out the nominations. Carry On from Devolver. I know Devolver published it. Fall Guys, Hades, Spelunky 2, and Spiritfarer. And you know your boy, so I picked Fall Guys. And that's the other one. So you know how I said PlayStation had 22 nominations? Devolver had a lot of nominations too. I think they were in third place. I think Nintendo had the second place, but Devolver had a lot of ones coming out too. Best mobile game, I picked Among Us because Among Us is great. And I don't count, like Genshin Impact, that don't count because I think that is a console game. Best community support, I picked Fall Guys because if you're on Twitter, you know their Twitter handle is really well done and managed really well. I can't remember the gentleman who runs it, but obviously I remember all the jokes and all the memes they were especially doing with Tim the Tap Man, which will continue in this when I explain it more. Best VR/AR. And honestly, because of the group that is there and just because, I picked Half-Life Alyx, even though I didn't play it. Innovation in accessibility. And I'll give you the whole list just because if it's going to change the audience and like help able gamers and all that stuff get in. Assassin's Creed Valhalla was on this list. Grounded from Obsidian. Hyperdot from Tribe Games. The Last of Us Part 2. And Watchdog Legion. And I gave the vote to The Last of Us Part 2 because of people were praising it during that time. Granted, I'm a basic white guy. I don't have no accessibility issues for me to actually benefit from. Besides the idea, I did use it for collecting collectibles, but that's on me. Best action, and long story short, I gave it to Neo 2, and then if I can scroll down more, there. Best action adventure, I gave it to Ghost of Tsushima because I don't think it's fair to give it to Miles Morales because it's too new. People had time to at least enjoy Ghost of Tsushima, and out of the group, I think they deserve it. And best role-playing game, I picked Final Fantasy VII Remake, but to be honest, it's a pretty tight fit competition besides Wasteland 3. Like the best role-playing game list was Final Fantasy VII, Genshin Impact, Persona 5 Royal, Wasteland 3, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. And I picked Final Fantasy, but I won't complain if Genshin Impact wins it. Best fighting game, I picked Mortal Kombat 11 because I play it and I enjoy it. I think I like what they've been doing. Best family game, I picked. What did I pick? I scroll to the side. I did this one as a throw Microsoft a bone. I picked Minecraft Dungeon because I've seen people play it. I've not seen it played for family wise. But out of the list, like Paper Mario, that's really a single player game. That's just you helping your kid. Minecraft Dungeon at least is a co-op game. Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, I don't count that. That's not fair. Fall Guys could have took the nod for me, but let's be fair. Crash Bandicoot 4, same idea. It's more of that one person just working together like father and son bullshit. Animal Crossing has probably, can we be honest, it has one of the more hearsay ways of how they do multiplayer. You can only have one mayor, one guy calling the shots of the whole island. So that doesn't count. Well, all right. Best sim and strategy game, which is totally not up my alley. I gave it to Microsoft Flight Simulator just because. Best sports and racing, and to my knowledge, knowing this, yep, I picked Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. But yeah. Best multiplayer, and I gave it to Among Us. Because I know it's a 2-year-old game, but needs to be deserved. And then, Content Creator of the Year, I gave it to Tim the Tap Man because out of all the groups, I don't give a fuck about Elena Pierce and what she's been doing. Valkyrie's okay for Among Us stuff. I don't know who Nick Merck is. I don't know who J. Ann Lopez. Tim the Tap Man, though, thanks to Fall Guys, I've been now following him, and he does a really, he's very funny. I like what he does. Best debut game, and I'll say this whole list because again, I support newer games and all that stuff. Carrion, the same that Devolver game. Mortal Shell. Raji and Ancient Epic, Roki, that Phasmophobia, and I gave it to Mortal Shell because I think it's good to have other developers be able to try to go into that Souls-like genre without having to be from software, just to give, other people chances. I know the Surge does that same idea, what I'm trying to say. Best esport athlete, I picked Matthew Zaiwu he's a CSGO player. For best esport coach, I picked Danny Zonic. He's also from the CSGO community, which, don't know. Best esport event, I picked the Overwatch League Grand Finals. Best esport game, I picked Valorant. I honestly just more spread it around. I have no idea about this shit. Best esports host, I gave it to Alex Goldenboy Mendez. Well, I was going to. It looked like it didn't take my vote. Hold on. Okay. And then best esport team, I picked the Dallas Empire for it. That's a Call of Duty game or a team to what they're categorized as. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a great year. I enjoy the Game Awards, not because it's serious, but the idea of because correct me if I'm wrong, please, at Mike Fowler 93. But Jeff Keighley has been running the Game Awards even back when it was on Spike, right? And the idea of before when it was on Spike, it was just a real joke. It was truly a joke. Only because no one can take gaming seriously. We live in this weird fucking battle that we have these condescending, jaded people in the industry that they get to have the benefits of what we dream of. We all dream it. I don't care what any of you say. You all are in the game. You're listening to a gaming podcast. You would love to be in the gaming industry if you're doing it. So what I'm trying to get to is you have these condescending pricks go, I'm a little untethered from the Game Awards, even though right after they did it, they voted. They're part of the voting community, the group that of professionals that do the votes, and we get to do 20% of the real vote. You know what I'm saying? Just because your game of the year wasn't picked, I'm not gonna say it all like that, but you picked an Xbox game, and sorry that if there was six nominations, there were 6 better games. It probably was the top 7th game of the year. Or by your opinion, might be higher. But at the same time, for a general purpose, it's not the best game. But yeah, I'm just tired because I think it's weird that we have these people that follow these jaded people. When you were growing up playing video games, when you're in the playground, would you be hanging out with the kid who would be kind of going this, technically, Mario's just a plumber. I'm more surprised he can jump that high. He's kind of just a plumber. And do these side jaded jokes just because you're, a little condescending. That's how your personality is. No, you'd be hanging out with the guys who are happy for the job. You'd be the ones who are still happy, in this industry, even though they deal with these fucking prick fans. They deal with us. They deal with even me who are bitching about them right now. But the idea of knowing that they're in a good position, I wish they would take that into consideration besides trying to be funny just because of, or even trying to act distant from something because it didn't go their way. But yeah, that was the Game Awards. That's the nominations. I believe it's December 10th when the shows airs. I'll be listening because, of course, they do reveals, and we'll probably just more talk about when that comes. We'll say congratulations to the Game of the Year, and we'll talk about what was revealed at the Game Awards. So I'm looking forward to it. All right, and the last gaming news, because we're going to talk a little bit more about, there's some other cool things happening this week that I've heard. But Jim Ryan opened his sugar-coated mouth and just said, we have an answer. I'm using this different words, but they said they have an answer to Game Pass. Just not right now. We're going to talk about more to come, blah, blah, blah. Apparently he said this to a Russian journal station, but let's be honest. Let's keep our heads on our shoulders. Most likely, which I think will be fine, but most likely we're probably going to get a bundle price for PS Now and PS Plus. I think we're also going to get into this weird idea of if you can buy it separately, because maybe they probably see it in the idea PS Now and PS Plus has been doing fine. It's as a supplemental, not like a point a gun at your head. This is the way, this is how it should be, or you're going to miss out on this. Like, I'm not saying Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is like that, but the idea they make it difficult to buy a whole year. They might enjoy people giving them a full $120 of PS Now and PS Plus, blah, blah, blah. But I'm expecting just a bundle price. And then, what is it? I think we might see a not ever, ever, ever talked about, but we might start seeing first party games go on PS Now, maybe within almost exactly a year of release. Because I don't think they'll ever give us to us like maybe like 6 months, but within 1 year, like, okay, like the game, like Last of Us 2 was game of the year this year, 2020, 2021, you'll have it for free on PS Now, but they'll never ever confirm it. Just like they're also not confirming God of War Ragnarok is going to be a PS5 exclusive game. They're not confirming nor denying it. They're also just more saving their butt, saying all the PS5 versions of any cross-gen games are being built from the ground up. Honestly, I think it's a shot in the foot of their. I don't care about me. I don't care about them taking care of the PS4 audience unless they see something in the future. It could be like that. What if we're having this bad of a system drought? Because it's hard to find a system. What if it goes through way farther into 2021 than we know? Maybe also in like a grand scheme, maybe it's financially better for them. Who knows? But I think they should make it exclusively on the next gen. But that's me. I'm not financially supported by Sony. But yeah, back to the actual news part. I think it's going to be a bundle. It'd be cool. This little kid, or this kid has some pretty good points. Delvin Jr., if the PS1 classics can come to PS Now, I think that would be a pretty good nail in the Game Pass coffin of like this edge of like, oh, it's better than PS Now. Even though they might not have PS2 games on there more than the PS4 downloadable versions, I think the PS1 classics as like a little, hey, these are on here and you can download them onto your system. That would be a big feather in the cap of PS Now. So that's a great idea that you said, man. But yeah, that's basically on gaming. Real quick for movie news, Wonder Woman 84, hear the Christmas bells? Because it's going to be on HBO Max on Christmas. So that's awesome. I'm very excited. They said they're afraid of the movie might get stale, holding it off more. I think Christmas is the best idea. It goes toe to toe with Disney Plus is going to have Pixar's Soul on Christmas, so that's awesome. And then also, hey, if you're not watching it, The Mandalorian is excellent this year. I didn't mind the first season, but this second season, it feels like a real chef's kiss. But yeah, what are some other movie news that I've seen this week? There's been small details on the Green Lantern TV series for HBO Max, and I'm just more saying so that we know. The Green Lanterns that they're going to focus on apparently is going to be like Guy Gardner, Alan Scott, which is the original Green Lantern that had like the cape and used magic. He wasn't really a space Green Lantern like we know Hal Jordan and stuff. But the one that I'm more interested in seeing is Bree Jarta. And if you don't know that name, is because her comic book as the Green Lantern is called Far Sector. She's a black woman, and she's going to be the partner of Guy Gardner in this, since if you guys don't know, Green Lanterns are usually the space police. But the idea that they're going to highlight her is awesome, because I wish I got into it, but also I'm waiting for DC Universe to add her books to the app. They might have, but just haven't been being able to. I haven't had time to read. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this series. And then also real quick is what is it? They also said for DC Comics, they are introducing their first non-binary character in Kid Quick, who will appear next month in a holiday theme, their usual Christmas DC comic called DC Merry Multiverse. I think it's also them teasing, because I've seen Kid Quick's picture, and they have been revealed for the DC Future State, so that's really cool. And then what is it? The thing that's about it for news, besides Bo-Katan, that's where it is. Bo-Katan will reportedly return in Star Wars The Bad Batch series. So that's cool. And then also, I guess, Marvel's She-Hulk will begin filming in March 2021. And Marvel's Moon Knight will begin filming in March 2021. So that is awesome. And then, yeah, I think let's look forward to next year. We're now a month and a half away from hopefully getting out of this hellhole of a year. But yeah, this week's hot picks, it's going to be a little bit different for the music-wise, because 'tis the season. That means there's going to be emo rap coming around. Because I see Meek Mill has a new song called Pain Away featuring Lil Durk. It sounds okay. One I was going to probably highlight just by itself was Future and Lil Uzi Vert's Because of You, but because it sounded pretty cool. And then just more to say it out there because of the verse that just happened. I didn't know that. Jeezy has a new song called Almighty Black Dollar featuring Rick Ross. That sounds all right. But TV, I think everyone should go check out on HBO Max. There has been a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion special. It's about an hour and 17 minutes long. And that was pretty great. I've not been big into like these stupid reunions, but this one's really good in the sense of like I was young. So the idea of I watched it, I thought it was great, funny, ha ha ha. But the idea that the barriers that they helped push more, because they even explained like Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil was very into knowing like the history of, black culture and how much of the steps they've been doing. And they talked about like being able to, this is one of the first and few times the actors are helping the writers write out jokes for, a black family. And it made you also think, I thought it was crazy thinking Uncle Phil's been gone for 7 years. It honestly felt closer, but it's already been 7 years since he's been gone, and they had a really great montage, very beautiful, and like everybody in there. I mean, the little sister, she was bawling through the whole montage. But the idea of also like they also brought back the original Aunt Viv, and her and Will kind of like apologized to each other. And I never knew as a kid like why they switched or even looked into it. It didn't really matter by the time I was old enough to understand. But that was crazy to see that they left no stone unturned, and it was really cool. Obviously, they had all the cast there. It was pretty great. And then for comics, holy shit, I didn't even know this was going to come out this week. On November 25th, The Other History of the DC Universe, it comes out, issue 1. It's that issue that I was talking about during DC Fandom that involves seeing the DC Universe evolve and change through the eyes of Black Lightning. It's written by, I want to say John Ridley, the guy who wrote 12 Years a Slave. And I'm more shocked. You're going to hear me talk about it right now, but I'm probably going to go to the midtowncomics.com and go pick up a copy, or at least wait for it to, I'm going to buy it. I would look into it. It might be another one of those like little, wow, I'm glad I picked this up. It's called The Other History of the DC Universe, issue 1. But yeah, that'll be this week's episode. I hope for the peanut gallery, I hope my microphone sounds louder. But yeah, if you guys could, please follow me on Twitter at MikeFowler93, twitch.tv/Cousin Cecil. I know my hours of streaming is very varied. Like I played the Pathos this last couple weeks ago, or a couple days ago, like around midnight of Eastern time. But, few and far between. But I have to say the PS5's overlay for Twitch is awesome. I love it now. It's way easier, or it's more enjoyable to stream now with the PS5. Instagram at Cousin Cecil. And for again, Cousin Cecil, CUZNCISEAL. But yeah, look forward to it. Don't eat too much turkey. You guys try to be safe during these times. If you guys are going to see family, but be smart. See if it's worth it. Who knows? Maybe you don't even want to see your fucking family. But yeah, until next time, be good to each other. I'll see you around. Peace.